So when you do take photos and things like that, going on those trips, you're probably, I'm guessing, not just taking photos of the same buildings or the same places that everybody else has. What are you looking for? Like what in your mind? What I'm guessing, like I'm speculating that part of it is like you've got something you've been wanting to do, like some technique you've been wanting to play with, and maybe another part of it is like you see something that captures your eye and you're just kind of put those two together, or is it more than that?
No, there is that. There is stuff like that because like certain things will lend themselves to a certain technique.
Sure.
So like if there's a certain bridge, like in London, one of the bridges, or like Big Ben where you have the river right there in front, I tend to like long exposures there because it blurs the water, and then it really highlights what you're trying to highlight in your photo.
Right.
Because usually when you look at a photo, there's got to be a reason you took it, and so you're trying to let the viewer either experience the same emotion you experienced when you took that photo, or to showcase something that you found interesting. So if it's a building, you want to still highlight it in a certain way. So the one thing that I will do is I will always try and come up with, I'll take up the basic shot, the touristy shot, but then I like the safety shot. Yeah. But then I will try and make sure I get at least a different angle or a different perspective, or a build like when we were in Notre Dame. Everybody was taking a picture of the whole building, which is great. Like I took pictures of that too. But then I wanted to like get in because it's so intricate. Right. I wanted to get a lot of detail shots of it.
That makes sense.
And different angles of that. So that's where it was like you're showing that thing that everybody's gone to a million times, but in a different way.
Right.
Excuse me. Which I do the same thing here in Portland, like Tanner Springs Park, where everybody shoots there. Like every time I go there, there's like 3 or 4 photo shoots going on.
Right.
So every time I'm there and like a client insists on going, like I usually try to avoid going there or like very popular places like that. But if a client insists on it, I'll do it, no problem.
Right.
But I always try and come up with a unique angle or a perspective or something that you don't see shot there all the time. Even if it's just a lighting technique or an angle or using a wide angle lens, which technically isn't a portrait lens, but using it in a way to shoot a portrait where it just has a different look to it.
Oh, so you can use a wide angle, but you can still do a portrait with that?
Yeah.
And you're not getting the person bending?
You are a little bit, but that's where you got to control that.
Okay.
And so, like, one of the things that I'll do with the wide angle lens is when I'm doing an environmental shot.
Sure.
So, especially of a couple, like I had done a shoot with a couple like years ago. And one of my favorite techniques, the wide angle lens, is that I always, if I start them center and then move the lens up a little bit so they're near the bottom of the frame, it tends to stretch their body. So for shorter people or heavier people, it like kind of distorts them in
an attractive
in a
way or
good
a flattering way.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Where if you were to do it a different way, like getting even closer, then it would distort them in the wrong way.
Right.
So
there's an element of some of your photos where the person's like, I like that photo, I don't know why. And you're like, I know why. Exactly. Because it's flattering.
Exactly. And that comes also with like, just with lighting and with choice of lenses that you're going to use, because you can shadow somebody's face who's maybe heavier a certain way where it's more flattering.
Okay.
And same thing, but just by using the lenses. So, there's photographers who are famous for using wide angle lenses, and they use that to their advantage. Like they might have somebody like let's say like an athlete or a boxer who's sitting down and leaning forward, and so by using that wide angle lens, his hands look bigger in the shot. So it kind of emphasizes that feature, kind of what their deal is.
Interesting.
So you use them to like. There's no right or wrong. There's like a suggested right, but then you like use what you need to for what you're envisioning in your own head.